It started with a phone call I almost didn't answer. It was past midnight, and Rachel's name lit up my screen. We don't talk much, not out of hate, just distance. But something in me said pick up. Her voice came through broken, trembling, uneven. She cried for a minute, then started laughing. Then silence, like she forgot why she called. Finally, she said, "I did something bad." I didn't speak, I just listened. She said she'd been seeing someone from work. His name was Jason. She said it started with coffee breaks and harmless talks. Then came late nights, long messages, small lies. And then it became physical. I didn't breathe for a second. She sounded almost proud, like confessing a secret adventure. Then my phone buzzed. She sent me pictures. Her and Jason, smiling at dinner. Another in a hotel bed, too close to deny. I felt sick. I asked, "Does Mark know?" She laughed like I told a joke. Of course not, he'd never questioned me. Her tone was sharp, careless. She said she deserved more, that Mark had gone dull. I wanted to hang up right there. But she kept talking, spilling everything like it meant nothing. She said Jason made her feel alive again. That he listened. That he made her remember who she used to be. And then she said something that froze me. "We're thinking about having a baby soon, Mark and I." I sat in silence, trying to process what she just said. She didn't see the irony. Didn't hear how twisted that sounded. She was sleeping with two men. And still talking about starting a family. My hands were shaking. I told her not to call me about this again. She said, "You're the only one I can trust." Then she hung up, leaving me with a storm in my head. I stared at those photos for a long time. Every smile looked fake now. Every laugh felt like poison. I thought about Mark. How he always showed up for family dinners. How he carried flowers to the hospital when Mom was sick. How he fixed things around the house without being asked. He didn't deserve this. None of it. That night I didn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Rachel's face. Smiling beside another man, while her husband dreamed of a baby. I tried to convince myself to stay out of it. Not my problem. Not my marriage. But the guilt crawled under my skin. The idea of Mark raising a child that wasn't his haunted me. I knew Rachel. If she got pregnant, she'd never tell the truth. She'd smile, lie, and let him believe. And I'd know. I'd have to watch him live that lie forever. That thought alone made me sick. I realized something that night. Sometimes silence isn't peace. It's betrayal in disguise. The next morning, everything felt heavier. I made coffee but couldn't drink it. Every thought circled back to Rachel. Her laugh, her words, that sick confidence in her voice. I tried to work, but my mind refused to focus. Mark's face kept flashing in my head. The way he always smiled when someone spoke to him. The quiet patience he had for everyone. He didn't know the truth sitting right beside him. I told myself to forget it. I repeated it like a mantra. Not my business, not my problem. But the guilt didn't fade. It grew, hour by hour. At night, I'd lie awake imagining the fallout. The fights, the tears, the broken trust. And worse, the possibility that Rachel would get pregnant. That image burned through me. Mark holding a baby that might not be his. Smiling, proud, blind to what really happened. It felt cruel to stay silent. But telling him would destroy everything. Our family wasn't big, but it was close enough to implode. Mom would be crushed. Relatives would pick sides. Rachel would hate me forever. But still, Mark deserved to know. He deserved honesty, more than she deserved protection. Days passed like that, heavy and quiet. Rachel texted once, just a heart emoji. I stared at it, disgusted. She was pretending nothing happened. Like her confession meant nothing. Like she could erase it with a cute symbol. That was the moment I knew I couldn't ignore it anymore. I needed to talk to her. So I called one evening, sitting in my car outside work. She answered quickly, too casual. "Hey, what's up?" she said, like nothing had happened. "You still seeing him?" I asked. Straight to the point. No small talk, no fake warmth. She paused, then laughed softly. Wow, straight to the interrogation. I didn't respond. "I thought you said you didn't want to be involved," she said. "I didn't," I answered, "but you made me part of it." Her tone hardened. "Why are you judging me?" "I'm not judging," I said. "I just need to know." Silence filled the line. Finally, she said, "It's complicated." I asked again, "Are you still sleeping with both of them?" She didn't answer. That silence was my answer. "Rachel," I said quietly, "you're playing with people's lives." She got defensive, talking about how lonely she felt. How Mark had grown distant. How Jason made her feel seen again. It was the same excuse she always used. Deflect, justify, twist the story. I told her, "You're about to lie to him for the rest of his life." She didn't like that. Her voice went cold. "I made a mistake telling you," she said. "No," I said. "You made a mistake doing it." The call ended abruptly. And I knew then, she wasn't going to change. She wasn't confused or scared. She was selfish. And if I didn't act soon, Mark would pay the price. That night, I decided. I would tell him the truth, no matter the cost. I spent 2 days planning how to tell him. It couldn't be over text. It had to be face to face. I didn't want to ambush him, but he needed to know. I messaged Mark, asking if he wanted to grab lunch. He replied right away, like always. "Sure, Thursday work," he said. That simple kindness made my stomach twist. He had no idea what was coming. When the day arrived, I got to the diner early. I sat in my car, rehearsing the words. Every version sounded cruel. Every start felt like a knife. Then he showed up, smiling, relaxed. "Good to see you, man," he said. We talked about work, about his dog, about nothing. He didn't sense the storm behind my eyes. I waited until the food was nearly gone. My hands were shaking. "Mark," I said quietly, "I need to tell you something." He looked confused but nodded. "Rachel called me last week." I paused. "She told me she's been seeing someone else." His smile froze, just for a second. He didn't move, didn't blink. "She said it started with a guy at work. His name's Jason." I watched the color drain from his face. He didn't interrupt. I told him I hadn't asked for it. That she just dumped it all on me. He stared down at the table, eyes glassy but calm. "She told you that?" he asked softly. "Yeah," I said, "even sent photos." He exhaled slowly, like the air hurt. I waited for him to speak. He finally said, "I knew something was off." His voice cracked on the last word. "She's been distant, always on her phone." He rubbed his forehead. I thought maybe it was stress. I nodded. "You weren't wrong to notice." He went quiet for a long time. People around us kept talking, laughing, eating fries. But our table felt frozen in a different world. Finally, he looked up. "So what now?" "That's up to you," I said. "I just couldn't keep it from you." He nodded once. His jaw tightened, but he didn't break. "Thanks for telling me," he said. That's all. No anger, no shouting, just pain that ran too deep for noise. We walked out together into the parking lot. He looked tired, older somehow. Before leaving, he said, "You're the only one who ever had my back." I didn't know what to say. I just nodded, because anything else would have sounded hollow. When I got home, my phone lit up. Rachel's name filled the screen. Message after message. Then calls. I ignored them at first. By the third one, I answered. Her voice exploded through the speaker. "You told him," she screamed. "You ruined my life." I let her finish, then said quietly, "No, Rachel, you ruined your own life. I just stopped hiding it." The line went dead. And in that silence, I felt something I hadn't felt in weeks. Relief. The truth was finally out, even if it shattered everything. The fallout started faster than I expected. Within days, the whispers began spreading. Family group chats went silent, then exploded. Everyone wanted to know what happened. Rachel played the victim, of course. She said I twisted her words. Said I wanted to ruin her marriage out of jealousy. But the truth doesn't stay buried for long. Mark stopped answering her calls. He packed a bag and left their apartment. Mom called me, asking if it was true. I told her yes, every word. She sighed, tired, not even surprised. "I always hoped she'd grow out of this," she said. Rachel's life started to unravel. Her coworkers noticed she stopped smiling. The photos on social media vanished. No more happy captions, no fake laughter. And then one morning, Mom called again. Her voice was shaky. "She's pregnant," she said. My mind went blank. The math hit me instantly. 6 or 7 weeks. Right in the middle of everything. She didn't know who the father was. Mark or Jason. I felt the room spin. Mom said Rachel told her it was Mark's. That they were working things out. But Mark didn't believe her. He asked for a paternity test. Rachel cried, said he didn't love her if he needed proof. But love isn't blind anymore once trust is gone. He told her, no test, no involvement. I respected that more than I can explain. He wasn't cruel, just done being deceived. Jason found out next. Not from Rachel, but from a coworker. Apparently, Rachel had bragged about her options. Jason confronted her after work. Asked if she was trying to trap him. She tried to laugh it off, call it complicated. But Jason wasn't stupid. He had a girlfriend. One serious enough to be looking at apartments. When he realized what Rachel had done, he lost it. He told her never to contact him again. Blocked her number. Told her if anyone mentioned paternity, he'd get a lawyer. Rachel tried calling, texting, even showing up at his place. He never answered the door. Neighbors saw her waiting outside, crying. Eventually, she stopped trying. She still went to work, but quieter. No makeup, no smiles. The glow she always faked was gone. Even Mom said she barely recognized her voice. Rachel used to think she could twist every ending. That her charm would save her from the consequences. But not this time. Everyone had seen her for who she really was. Mark had walked away. Jason had vanished. And now she was standing in the ruins she built. Pregnant. Alone. And finally, out of people to blame. For the first time, I didn't feel angry at her. Just sad. Because this wasn't bad luck. It was the truth finally catching up. Mark didn't disappear into silence like I expected. He moved with calm precision, like a man rebuilding control. He found a lawyer and started documenting everything. Texts, photos, even security footage from their building. It showed Rachel getting dropped off by Jason more than once. He wasn't vengeful. He just wanted it over, clean and final. He filed for divorce quietly. Rachel didn't see it coming. The papers arrived one morning, along with a financial notice. Mark froze their shared accounts. He transferred half into a new one under his name. He also froze the credit cards she'd been using. For once, Rachel had no way to manipulate the story. She tried to call him, no answer. Tried to show up at his office, got turned away. Mom said Rachel looked like a ghost that week. Still pregnant, still trying to hold on to her old life. But everything was slipping away. Mark wasn't cruel about it. He even left her the furniture. He just wanted his peace back. When she finally met her lawyer, she realized the truth. She had no leverage left. Most of the money for their condo came from Mark's inheritance. He could prove every deposit, every receipt. Her lawyer probably told her to settle fast. The affair, the pregnancy, the lies, they all destroyed her case. Rachel tried to soften her tone, begged for fairness. But it was too late for mercy. Mark was done. Within weeks, the court approved the separation. Rachel lost the condo and moved into a friend's spare room. She sold her car to pay off debts no one knew she had. Credit cards, online shopping, small loans, her quiet addictions. Jason's girlfriend found out too. She ended things and moved away. Jason left the city soon after, changing his number completely. He didn't even acknowledge the baby might be his. Rachel tried to reach him from new numbers. Every message went unanswered. She was completely alone now. No husband. No lover. No escape plan. Weeks passed before I heard from her again. It was a short text. "Can we talk?" I stared at it for hours before replying. The next day, she sent another. "Please, I don't know what to do." When I finally called, she sounded different. Her voice cracked between words. "I did this to myself," she said. It was the first time she didn't blame anyone else. She cried hard, really cried. She said she couldn't stay with Mom, couldn't face anyone. She asked if I could talk to Mark for her. "Just one meeting," she begged. "I don't want to be alone when the baby comes." Her words hit me harder than I expected. But I couldn't promise her that. "Rachel," I said quietly, "you broke someone who loved you. You don't get to ask him for comfort now." She sobbed, whispering that she was sorry. For the first time, I believed her. But believing didn't change anything. There's no undoing the damage once the truth explodes. Only the silence that comes after. 2 months passed before I heard from Mark again. His name lit up my phone on a quiet Saturday morning. I answered, unsure what to expect. The first thing he said was simple. "I filed," he told me. I didn't need to ask what he meant. "She got served this morning. I left before she came home." His tone was steady, calm, lighter somehow. "How do you feel?" I asked. He exhaled. Slow and deep. Like I can finally breathe again. That was the moment I knew he'd survived it. Not untouched, but free. He told me he'd already found a new place in another city. A friend helped him get a new job, a clean start. He was careful, organized, ready to rebuild. He said he didn't want revenge, just distance. He wanted peace, not noise. I helped him pack the last few boxes from the apartment. The walls felt empty, stripped of all their history. No pictures, no memories left to haunt him. Before we closed the door for the last time, he turned to me. "You saved me," he said quietly. I didn't know what to reply. It didn't feel like saving. It felt like cutting something open before it could rot. But maybe that's what saving really looks like. Pain first. Healing later. When Mark drove away, I stood on the curb for a long time, watching until his car disappeared around the corner. The city felt heavier without him, but also cleaner. He deserved to start over somewhere she couldn't reach. As for Rachel, I haven't heard from her since that last call. Mom said she had the baby a few weeks ago. No one from the family went to the hospital. Not out of cruelty, but exhaustion. We'd all given her too many chances. Now she was living with the choices she made. No husband. No Jason. Just her, and a newborn she couldn't use to rewrite the past. Sometimes I wonder if she thinks of Mark. If she ever realizes how close she came to having everything. And how fast she burned it all down. But I don't ask. I don't reach out. Some lessons need silence to sink in. For a while, I felt guilty for the fallout. The shouting, the pain, the broken family ties. But over time, that guilt turned into clarity. Keeping quiet would have made me complicit. Telling the truth didn't ruin anything. It revealed it. People think peace means silence. But real peace only comes when lies stop breathing. Mark got his peace. Rachel got her truth. And me, I got something close to freedom. Not happiness, not pride, just stillness. The kind that comes when you finally stop carrying someone else's sins. I don't regret a single word I said. Because silence might have protected her. But it would have destroyed him. And that's a price I'll never pay again. Life went quiet after that. Mark built something new far from the wreckage. A new city, a new job, a clean slate. He sent one message months later. Doing better, it said. I smiled, knowing he finally meant it. Rachel stayed silent, buried in her own consequences. No more lies, no more performance. Just the weight of what she'd done. Mom said she's trying to get by, one day at a time. Maybe that's enough for her now. As for me, I stopped replaying it all in my head. The late night calls, the guilt, the breaking point. They used to haunt me. Now they feel distant, like echoes fading into quiet. I learned something simple but hard. Truth hurts fast, but lies kill slow. And sometimes love means setting the fire yourself. Not to destroy, but to cleanse. I didn't save anyone's marriage. I just refused to protect a lie. And in that choice, I found peace. Real peace. The kind that doesn't depend on silence anymore.